You are watching the Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Joe List, Mark Norman, Chanel Ali, Reese James, Glenn Moore, Ismael Luxi, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest, so start sucking up now. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Think That's Bad. This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyles, whatever, and I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
My girlfriend says I take mini-golf too seriously. My caddy disagrees.
You think that's bad? I'm trying to look less creepy, and I still look like a meerkat gynecologist.
You think that's bad? When I was 8 years old, my uncle, who's 4 years older than me, babysat me. I went to the bathroom, I was coming up the hallway, and he took, like, an aerosol can and a lighter, and he shot a fireball at my face. The old shoot fire at the child you're babysitting routine.
You think that's bad? The other day I had to ask a bigger guy to help me get the lid off my protein powder.
You think that's bad? I'm a Muslim, and everybody hates us. India hates us, China hates us. That's everybody. That is most people. 3 billion human beings.
You think that's bad? For the last 2 weeks, a lot of white people have been congratulating me for being the current host of this show.
Sorry about that.
We're here at the same time, and they still can't tell us apart.
You think that's bad? I get congratulated all the time for being the girl from Star Wars.
You think that's bad? Dulce's sitting in the wrong seat.
You lose this game. Every round, you lose.
You think that's bad? I have horrible anxiety. I walk around the city all day. You guys ever do this one? You guys ever leave the house without headphones? Woo! Thoughts are not good. Oh, man. This whole time I thought I loved music. Turns out I just hate my brain.
You think that's bad? The other day, I made love to my wife, and she said, would you still want to have sex with me if I gained 400 pounds? And I had to say, I don't even know if it's possible to have sex with a woman that weighs 800 pounds.
Why are you awing? He just told us he has a beautiful plus-size wife. I don't understand.
You think that's bad? I've been spending all of my comedy money on food. Works out to like 3 egg rolls and a Gatorade.
You think that's bad? Everyone at school used to make fun of me for being too formal, because I was so formal I used to say stuff like Father Longlegs. I know. Instead of just that priest with the really long legs.
You think that's bad? I was a really small child. I was very small, yeah. Late bloomer. Go yourselves. And I'm 31.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called moisturizer. Relax, everyone. I was a very small child, and my mum used to mark mine and my brother's heights every 2 months, like by doing it on the wall of the kitchen to see how much we'd grown. And mine stayed the same for so long that people would come round and assume I had died.
Mark?
You think that's bad? I moved in with a woman recently. I got an Alexa. And I just learned that Alexa actually listens to everything you say, stores it in a database, could use it against you later. I was like, man, just like a real woman.
Okay. Look, at the end of the round, I think Joe, Chanel, and Glenn, y'all take the win. Now, let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it in or a person to say it to. So, everyone, your what is stupid things to say, and your where is at a job interview. So let's hear some stupid things to say at a job interview. I know y'all have experience in this.
If you think my handshake is firm,
It's fine.
You know, I'm huge on 4chan.
My biggest weakness? Probably that I work 2 hours a day.
I've only got 2 weaknesses, being vague and another weakness.
I like to work from home. Could I live here?
Hey, how many Me Too's do we get a year?
Do you know who my father is? Because he's not responding to my texts.
I've got to ask you, what's your least favorite race?
You.
Why would I make a great policeman? Well, my best friends are a soldier, a construction worker, an American Indian, and a cowboy.
Communication skills. Oh.
Is everyone who works here as ugly as you?
I'm looking for work because I lost my last job to big tech. I used to stand outside car dealerships going, "Whoa."
What'd you do?
I used to stand outside car dealerships going, "Whoa."
It was just nice to see a white man with rhythm. So I just wanted to...
I've never heard that before in my life.
Is everyone who works here as hot as you?
Why did I apply for a job at IKEA? Well, I mean, sometimes it's good to just get your foot in the Floggenstlau.
I worked as a librarian for 25 years. Why did I leave? I got let out of prison.
All right. I think it's a tie. I can't call a winner on that one. What do y'all think? We're going to take a short break now. Don't go away. There's more after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now let's play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are going to do stand-up, and me, will decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's gonna be. Reese and Joe! So you 2 both get up there and do stand-up area. Reese, you're going first. So let's see what your subject is. Ooh, philosophy. All right, off you go.
I feel like people who say everything happens for a reason have never soiled themselves on public transport. Is that philosophy enough for you? I love these phrases, man. I love these sort of pseudo-philosophical phrases people like to use to justify their life choices. The other day I heard this. I heard someone say, don't have regrets. You mustn't have regrets, because whatever you did was at one point exactly what you wanted. I'm like, so? I'm an idiot. At one point, I sucked on the breast of my own mother. Doesn't mean I don't regret New Year's Eve 2012. People change, man. People grow up. I'm 31. Another one said, life is about the journey, not the destination. And I was like, obviously. The destination is death. Otherwise, that just says life is about death. And that's a little bit heavy for your guest room, if you ask me. But the worst philosophical thing for me is karma. The way people use karma all the time to justify their lives. Going, yeah, I believe in karma. I live my life by karma because I believe if you do good things will happen to you. So that's why I do good things, so that good things will happen to me. I think, well, then you're a piece of trash, OK? How about just do good things, for God's sake? Who lives their life like that? Constantly looking back, analysing, seeing if their good deed paid off, they got something good in return. You know, who's getting a promotion at work thinking, oh, that'd be because I gave that bad old pair of shoes to charity last week? You know, who's getting a job thinking, oh, that'd be because I helped that old lady cross the street? That's not karma. That's just a very grateful old lady. All right? They are different things.
Thank you, Reese. Joe, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Joe, your subject is leisure. Ooh, take it away.
All right. Well, I love leisure. I'm a stand-up comedian. I travel all over the country and world, but the show is only like an hour long, so you gotta kill the whole day. So recently I did a show at the Mall of America in Minnesota, and they have a roller coaster at the Mall of America. Now, I'm a fun guy. You guys can probably tell from the show. So I wanted to ride the roller coaster, but the roller coaster seats 4 across, and when you're by yourself, they put you with a group of 3. And my group of 3 was 3 10-year-old boys. They're like, you're with these kids. First of all, I felt weird riding it alone, but I'm like, I don't want to ride with 3 children. I already felt like a weirdo. But I had to, because you can't back out at that moment either. I can't be like, oh, I can't sit with children. Never mind. You know what I mean? That's a red flag. They're gonna be like, what's up with this guy? Why can't he sit with children? You can't go too big either. You can't be like, yeah! Woo! You know? I had to split the difference. I had to be like, you got it. Sure. So then I sat with the kids, and you've been on roller coaster. They see you, you're like right next to each other, like our legs are touching, and I'm like, should I say hello to them? Should I be like, hey, what's up, guys? All right. But I don't want to like freak them out, like stranger danger, you know? So I didn't want to do that, but it also feels psychotic to just stare straight ahead and not say anything. So once again, I had to split the difference. So I hugged one and gave the other one a noogie. I felt like that was... So I rode the roller coaster, didn't even enjoy it because I was so anxious. Then I got off the roller coaster. They take a photo of you while you're on the roller coaster. Then they try to sell it to you. They're like, would you like to buy a photo of your experience? And I was like, you know what? I think I'll pass on the photo. Feels a little inappropriate to be like, yeah, let me get an 8x10 of me and the boys. I want to remember these children forever. Do you have any wallet sizes? That's it for me. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm giving that to Joe. Both of you come and sit back down. Now let's keep moving with the game called That Reminds Me. I'm going to ask a performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can take turns to jump in and say, that reminds me, and do their own bits, based on any thought that's triggered. So, who wants to start?
My next-door neighbor is just like the old guy from Up, because he fled the country after kidnapping a boy.
That reminds me, the other day I was, for my nephew, he's a kid, and I was pretending to walk down the stairs behind the couch. You know that trick where you kind of do this?
Yeah.
I fell down the stairs. My knee just buckled. And I was like, ah! He thought I was drinking again.
That reminds me, I actually got married in early March of 2020. You know, I was so in love with my wife. I was like, I want to be with you forever and always. I want you always in my line of sight. And then this laboratory in China was like, we can make that happen.
That reminds me, if you're on a train and the ticket inspector is coming round and you put in headphones and pretend to be asleep, they have to touch you.
That reminds me, there was a guy I used to live with who used to have knuckle tattoos, and they said hate and inbreeding.
That reminds me, I saw a guy with a tattoo that said, only God will judge me, and I thought, that's not true.
That reminds me, my wife is no good at karate, but you should see her box.
That reminds me, I'm a lot like Simba. I killed my uncle because a cloud told me to.
That reminds me, the first time I had sex, I said, look, no hands.
Yes.
He didn't have hands?
She didn't have hands, but, you know, I don't think that should rule her out for intercourse.
All right, that reminds me, we've heard enough.
Oh, hallelujah.
Everyone made me laugh, but I think Glenn's kind of stupid, so his team wins. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great of American Joke Off after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now let's keep going with the round called Mincing Your Words. The way this works is that our comedians have to combine 2 unlikely things and make us laugh. So let's see what combination y'all be working with tonight. Song titles and food and drink. Off you go.
Macarena and cheese.
Somebody that I used to know could be hot toddy that I used to blow. Like the drink. I'm talking about the drink.
WAP per Junior?
I'm not even supposed to use that this round.
Ben and Jerry's Missy Elliott promotion. Get your free cone. No buzzer?
No
buzzer.
I'll allow it.
On the side, like a rolling scone.
The ABBA classic chicken tikka.
ABBA were the absolute masters of this because they had Knowing Meat, Knowing You, Honey, 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 and then they had The Dinner Takes It All. They just had the whole shebang.
If I knew ABBA songs, I would be laughing very hard right now.
Live and let dietary requirements ruin what could have been a lovely dinner party, Steve.
I can't get no allergic reaction.
I like Johnny Cash's Ode to Avocados, I guac the lime.
And don't forget Onion Ring of Fire.
Yes.
Now, guys, let's keep it simple. How about hit me, baby, one more time, infuse Mediterranean vegetables with a garlic jus and a vintage Chardonnay.
Well done, all of you. I thought that Joe, Chanel, and Glenn were the funniest. The next game is called Sex with Me. So, I need you all to go to your zones of innuendo. You're gonna be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Okay, so that sex with me is like household chores.
Sex with me is like household chores. My mom usually helps out.
Damn, up front.
Sex with me is like household chores. I'm so bad at it, my girlfriend had to hire a professional.
Sex with me is like household chores. Take laundry, for example. It starts out dirty, gets wet, then there's shrinkage.
Sex with me is like household chores. If you tag in your brother, I'll give you both more allowance.
Sex with me is like household chores. None of my housemates will do it, even though I've drawn up this rota.
Sex with me is like household chores. You're just faking it so you can get paid.
Sex with me is like household chores. Whenever I do it, my dog gets excited and tries to help.
Sex with me is like household chores. I have bleached my anus.
Okay, that's enough. Let's try. Sex with me is like coffee. Sex with me is like coffee. Let's see how many times we talk about being black.
Sex with me is like coffee. I immediately offer it to any builder who's at my house.
Sex with me is like coffee. If you really enjoy it, I will stunt your growth.
Sex with me is like coffee. You'll feel a burning sensation.
Sex with me is like coffee. I can usually get it at a family function.
Sex with me is like coffee. Pretty good at a gas station.
Sex with me is like coffee. It will leave a brown ring on your furniture.
I thought you bleached your anus, man. What the hell?
Sex with me is like coffee. I like it hot and smashed in my face.
Sex with me is like coffee. It'll destroy your esophagus.
Nobody believes that. And the winners of that round are Mark, Reese, and Ishmael. Great American Joke Off this week are Joe Lish, Chanel Ali, and Glenn Moore. Congratulations! And hard luck to Ismael Lucci, Reese James, and Mark Norman. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye! Hello, friends. You're watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismael Lucci, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
I'll tell you, these e-cigarettes are stupid, you know? The only time it's appropriate to smoke an e-cigarette is after you had sex with a sex robot.
You know what annoys me is Zoom meetings, because I'm always late to them. It's my own apartment. What excuse can you make? Hey, sorry I was late. I don't respect you. That's it.
You know what annoys me is when actors on a TV show start directing and producing that same exact TV show. I'm sorry, can we actually go to camera 4 for this one? Let's go. Let's go back to camera 4. Everybody, places, okay, rolling, action. You know what annoys me is when...
I'm glad you clarified that with an act out, because I was like, damn, Ismael's a hater.
You know what annoys me is gender reveal parties. I find them so creepy, this whole party, just to see what gender someone's child is. My parents had a gender reveal party for me, actually, which was hurtful because I was 8 at the time.
Which one was it?
You know what annoys me is that we only have gender reveal parties for babies. I think we should have gender reveal parties. You know whenever a famous politician gets caught with a prostitute? That moment of suspense, you turn on the news, they're like, Senator Robert Hutcherson, a vocal opponent of gay rights, was caught today with a prostitute. And you're just like, please be a boy. Oh, man. Red state blue balloons, you know? The confetti is just a shredded NBA.
You know, you look like Senator Hutchinson and Riss looks like the boy.
I'll see you in the airport bathroom.
Yay, love connection!
You know what annoys me? Why do married people have monogram towels? What is that? You think I'm gonna come in your bathroom and you don't have your initials on your towels? And I'm gonna be like, are these my towels? Whose towels? I'm taking these.
You know what annoys me? They let you pick your seat on an airplane. I'd rather pick who I'm sitting next to. I don't really care where I am on the plane. I'm worried about who I'm gonna be conversing with for 5 hours. You know, they should make it more like a dating app. Obese Nazi with a service dog, swipe left. Tiny Asian lady with a surgical mask, now we're talking. But then she comes on with a baby and I'm like, I got catfished.
You know, I started comedy in Philadelphia, and I'm a storyteller comedian, so there was buzz about me. People were like, this girl, she's like a young female Bill Cosby. Now nobody ever brings it up.
You know what annoys me is hypocrisy, you know? Like, how come if a girl is sat there, like, seductively licking her lips, that's sexy. But if I'm doing that, I should get off her lips.
You know what annoys me? You ladies on the dating apps. You're all a bunch of height supremacists. Thank you.
I'm here to help, friend.
I'll go up on you.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me. And I've known him for 10 years.
You know what annoys me? That the Riddler is still a man. It's 2022. The Riddler is a villain who tortures his victims by making them solve puzzles he already knows the answer to. I think a woman is more qualified for that role. Come on! Lady Riddler! She would crush it just playing mind games with Batman. Like, if you want to save Gotham, you have 9 hours to figure out why I'm mad at you.
You know what annoys me? Technology. I find technology very confusing. You know, the other day I sent a pic to my older sister, and instead of my younger sister.
You know what annoys me? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy. You're like, oh, what a bummer I'm not gay. This guy is a 10, you know? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy, it's kind of like finding $1 million pesos. You're like, I can't do much with this now, but once I cross that line, I'll be set.
Thank you very much. I think the winner of that round was Mark Norman, so we're giving it to Steve. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue and your where is from a sci-fi movie. Okay, so let's hear some deleted dialogue from a sci-fi movie. Take it away.
I came here to do 2 things. Create a recursive paradox and do 2 things.
Oh my God, the amulet has come to life. You know what this means? Our table at TGI's is ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I accidentally shrunk the penis.
Welcome back to Jerry Springer. Darth Vader, you are not the father!
The Terminator has disguised himself as a human among us. We're going to need everyone to tell us which of these pictures does not contain a stop sign.
Oh no, it's the thing.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I was just in my bunk having what we refer to here on the Falcon as a hand solo.
Oh, oops, I ate the red and the blue pill. You were taking a while to explain.
Yeah, it turns out those weren't his dark materials. We found his dark materials on a hard drive. He's now on a register.
Isn't it weird we have laser beams and lightsabers, but no smartphones?
Well, time is a relative construct based on a person's frame of reference, so from my perspective, she was 18.
Welcome to Earth, and keep my wife's name out your
Right. Well, thank you very much. I think the winner of that round is just Luke. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are gonna do stand up and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's going to be. Ooh, Ismael and Reed. So you 2 both go to the stand up area. All right, Ismael, you're going first. So let's see what your subject is. Politicians. Okay, off you go.
Actually, I love watching politicians do politics, like give speeches. It's great because they go up there and they wiggle their thumbs and they're performers, you know? and we're performers, and they're worse. None of them could do this. If Joe Biden was here right now, he would fart and die. Like, he could, you know what I mean? This is a lot of pressure. At least it's fun to watch, though. Like, most politicians are boring as hell. They have the worst speeches. And here's the interesting thing, is that they have writers that are apparently the smartest people in the world. You know, there's these guys from Yale and Harvard writing their trash speeches. Like, Yale had nothing to do with this set right now. You know what I mean? this
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Good for him.
They write this trash, and it's not even original, right? Like every politician has the same line. They all go, it doesn't matter your race or religion, your color or creed. Who has a creed? Like, who has had a creed since, like, 1520? Nobody. And yet every politician's like, I gotta hit every demographic, gay people, Latinos, Knights Templar, Franciscan monks, everybody. Like, there are more members of the band Creed than Americans who live by a creed. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. That's my set. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismael. Woo. Reese, let's see what you're doing. Relationships. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
I'm in a relationship. We first bonded over our shared creed. In a long-term relationship. People don't believe it. Been together with my girlfriend for 9 years. Long time, innit, for a relationship, 9 years. Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it exciting. Keep that spark alive. Keep the spice going. You know, we're trying to do new things, excite each other. Like, she keeps talking about how she wants to try having sex outside of the relationship. Oh, can I watch? Will he be tall? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm reading all these articles about steps you can take to keep that spark going. You know, I saw this article recently, right? It said couples who schedule sex have better sex. No. Couples who schedule sex are available to take a survey. That is all you found out, I'm afraid. That's all your research has revealed. But she's good, my girlfriend. I like her a lot. I suppose ultimately I love her. But she does have her quirks and her tics that annoy me, like she pronounces it espresso instead of expression. She's weird. We took the next step in our relationship recently. I'm joking. I'm still not letting her do that. Still, keep it in the back pocket in case I can't think of a Christmas present one year. Some people prefer the experience gifts, don't they? Anyway.
Called If You Catch My Drift. Oh, okay. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is a shoe store. Oh, no.
Oh, my foot isn't the only thing that arches, if you catch my drift.
Laces are nice, but I prefer a strap.
I can't wait to stretch these out, if you catch my drift.
I'm looking for something I can shove my whole foot into.
Sorry, but if anyone actually said that at a shoe store, I'd think they were fully insane.
I've been kicked out of a lot of Foot Lockers.
I just need a couple of pumps, if you catch my drift.
I love cruising around in vans, if you catch my drift.
Mustache. She gave me a red bottom, if you catch my drift.
I'll tell you, I'd like to slide into something smelly.
What?
If you catch my drift.
So you want used shoes?
No.
Oh, when I was little, they actually actually had to tape my toes apart because I like to spread. I mean, if you catch my drift.
No, never mind. I'm not looking for anything brown. If you catch my drift.
Wow.
He's lying.
He's definitely lying.
He's lying.
Oh, he's lying.
If I'm going to get in there, you're going to have to give me the horn if you catch my drift.
All right. I'm giving the round to Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we come to a game called Set Me Up. This is not the dating portion of the show, which they told me backstage. The way this works is that I reveal a punchline from an old joke, and the comedians have to come up with as many possible new setup lines for it as they can. So here we go. Your punchline is because they're dead. Let's hear what the setup might be for this.
Oh, this is why the neighborhood kids won't pet my cats anymore.
How come the audience from the last show isn't here?
How come there's fewer and fewer anti-vaxxers?
Why do a lot of my ex-boyfriends have no idea that I'm a comedian?
How did I really ruin the Sixth Sense?
Matthew?
Why is Schrodinger's cat still alive?
That's a smart joke. That's smart. That's gonna make people Google this.
Why doesn't Joe Biden ever see his friends anymore?
Why are zombies always so pissed off?
How come you've never met anybody who's ridden in a self-driving car?
Why can I not enjoy the audience laughter from a 70s sitcom?
Also, 90s porn.
There's laughter in 90s porn?
No, just enjoying 90s.
There are gags.
How do I know my grandparents are too old for surprise parties?
All right, the real answer, of course, is why don't dinosaurs talk? Because they're dead. Hilarious. All right, I'm gonna give that round to Reese. So Luke, Reese, they should now win that round. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Okay, so that sex with me is like sports. Let's go.
Sex with me is like sports. We're both definitely gonna catch something.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm a sub.
Sex with me is like sports. I mostly practice by myself.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always watching and losing tons of money.
Sex with me is like sports. Your husband's gonna yell at me a lot.
Sex with me is like sports. It comes down to just a couple of inches.
Sex with me is like sports. It's only exciting for the last few seconds.
Sex with me is like sports. You'll feel pressured to compete, but don't worry, everybody gets a trophy.
Sex with me is like sports. If you hear a whistle, something went wrong.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always saying the phrase, "Coach, put me in."
Sex with me is like sports. It's best when multiple men are involved.
Sex with me is like sports. I like to change ends at halftime.
Sex with me is like sports. You're liable to get some balls thrown in your face.
The winners of that round were Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Come on, Matt. Hey, don't move. I'm back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Luke Monet, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. And hard luck to Ismael Lucy, Mark Norman, and Matthew Bassard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You are watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Fahim Anwar, Matthew Bassard, Ed Gamble, Natasha Leggero, Alonzo Bowden, Moshe Kasher, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a series of rounds, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So you can bribe me, you can find me a nice man to talk to. I really don't care. Let's get started with a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is travel. Tell me some travel jokes.
I cannot stand traveling by ferry. It is the most inefficient way. I was in Seattle, and you have to take a ferry to get to the gigs. Let me tell you something. Black people, we have a bad history of taking boats to work.
You know, people say that they want to travel. Why? To broaden their horizons. I think that's complete BS. Like, people don't want to broaden their horizons. They want to see their previously held stereotypes become magically to life right in front of their eyes. Like, you go to America, what do you want to see? You want to see the Empire State Building, the Hollywood sign? No, you want to see a man in a mullet, not a fashion one like mine, shooting an AK-47 at a COVID vaccine, screaming yeehaw. That is America, ladies and gentlemen.
Fashion mullet?
Yeah, it's like a kind of hipster mullet, but like I have never had sex with a cousin.
I don't understand why people don't just wait to get off the plane. For some reason, as soon as the wheels touch down, everybody gets up like... For 40 minutes, this guy's like, can you believe this? You paid for a seat.
I had shows in Pakistan because I have a really bad agent. And you get to Pakistan, they tell you don't drink the water. What they don't tell you is that everything you eat drank the water. I had Pakistan coming out of both ends for 24 hours.
But you look great.
Thank you. Thank you. No mullet. No mullet, if you notice. I look good.
Okay.
I live in New York. I think London is actually a better city for one reason. Their subway seats are upholstered. That could not happen in New York City. They would be dazzling geodes of crystallized urine and heroin. It would just be pincushions of hypodermic needles.
Whenever I'm on a flight, I always find myself watching someone else's movie for way too long. Yes. Like, I'm just watching Frozen with no sound for 40 minutes. It's in front of my own headrest, but I'm like, I'm already emotionally invested.
You know they have to now legally on planes have an extra vomit bag in case James Corden's on the in-flight entertainment.
So you're not doing that show. That's what you decided. I will not be on the Late Late Show with James Corden.
He's quit now. I don't give a.
I'm from Rockford, Illinois. It's a little place in the middle of the country. See, no one applauded. There are many ways to get there. Plane, train, car. But the most popular way to get there is by lack of ambition.
I did comedy in Greenland because I got a lousy agent. I'm telling you. You know what it's like to be black in Greenland? They'll say first thing, soon as I get there, I gotta tag the other brother, tell him he can leave. I walk outside, polar bears are looking at me like, chocolate.
I have trouble going abroad because everyone assumes I was a Trump guy just because I look like all of his sons combined.
It's refreshing for me to be on a panel where I'm not the most white-looking guy.
Thank you.
I've never seen white guys compete to be less white.
All right, I want to give that round to Alonzo Bowden just out of respect. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to hear, and your where is a commercial. So let's hear some weird commercials. Take it away.
I lost 80 pounds. Thanks, tapeworms.
Now with new lip-plumping technology, pants.
Metamucil, get your together.
Come on down to the monster truck rally. We've gone completely electric.
Side effects include random screaming, headaches, and fatigue!
So loud to be so tired.
Abby has strong teeth, boundless energy, and a shiny coat. She's the best prostitute in town.
We pledge to be carbon neutral by the time all life ends on Earth.
We go the extra mile for you because our sweatshops are located really far away.
Suffering from hypochondria? Ask your doctor about placebo.
Need a kidney transplant but can't find a donor? Try our new app, Organ Grinder. We'll connect you with young, destitute singles in your area.
There's now a free gift at the bottom of every box of Frosties. Type 2 diabetes.
Is your daughter dating a black man? Try Alabama.
It happens there, too.
For just the price of your morning coffee, you can have another cup of coffee every morning.
Are you still Jewish? Try Alabama.
All right, thank you very much. I think the winners were Fahim Anwar and Gamble Alonzo Bowden. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Our next round is called Get Up There. Two people are going to do stand-up, and I decide the winner. So let's see which two people that's going to be. Ooh, Matthew and Fahim.
Oh.
They all get up there. And Fahim, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Food. Okay, off you go.
Okay, so I use Uber Eats a lot, and Uber Eats is great, but it makes your dinner feel like a drug deal for no reason. Like I'm just outside my apartment looking for a black Prius. I'm like, what's up, you Alejandro? No, keep driving, bro. I'll see another guy in the corner, I'm like, Uber Eats? He's like, nah, crack. Just everything about it is so sketchy. I'll get a call from an unknown number, and I'm like, hello? And I'll just hear, I have your food. I'm like, put my foot on the phone. Sometimes your Uber Eats driver will pull up and there's 2 people in the car. You're like, what is this? This isn't The Amazing Race. Like, also, if you're the passenger in that car, how sad is your life? You're like, I've got nothing going on this Saturday. Can I shadow you? It'll be like a police ride-along for a hamburger. Sometimes they'll pull up in a really, really nice car, and that makes no sense. I'm like, really? A Tesla? You know you can just drive a Honda Civic and not have to do this. Like, you shouldn't be handing someone a burrito and then pulling your door down like... Uber has changed the game. Like, did you ever think that one day your cab drivers would just be random people with free time on their hands? Never. How do you not know that one day your house won't be on fire and some 21-year-old kid with a smartphone will show up like, hey, what's up? I'm your firefighter. I was the closest one to the blaze. Don't worry, I brought a super soaker. Stand back, everybody. The fire's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Go ahead.
Okay, Matthew, your subject is hobbies. Take it away.
So before I met my girlfriend, I was single for 6 years, which is too long to be single as a man because you don't have a woman around to remind you simple things like, hey, stop chewing your fingernails, or mason jars don't double as latrines, like really simple things. And one of the stranger hobbies I picked up was I started making little clay sculptures of Pokemon. And here's the weird part, because that's not already. The weird part is they're pretty good. And if that sounds cocky, just remember what I'm bragging about. Now, the thing that makes it particularly strange is because of the way I look, I don't give off like a nerd vibe. When you meet me, you try to picture my bedroom, you would probably see some like bro-y, fratty, like, I don't know, like an acoustic guitar and a John Mayer poster, right? Right, and they're there. But now picture, in addition to those, a menagerie of handmade anime figurines and ta-da, murder dungeon. That's where I dwell. And my first date with my girlfriend, it went well, and I lured her back to my apartment, and we walked in. I realized I hadn't told her about this. So the first thing she sees is just 100 of these little guys just lining my shelves, overlooking my bed like little block gargoyles, right? For a moment, I think I'm artistic. She thinks I'm autistic. And the silence that follows, you can just hear her ovaries go shoomp up into a ribcage. Like tubes at the bank. Remember that sound? It was like that sound. She looks at them, and then she turns to me with fear in her eyes, and she goes, oh, you didn't tell me you collected toys. And I go, no, no, no. I made those. Thank you.
A game called Good News, Bad News. I'll read out a piece of good news and everyone else has to give me some bad news to counter it. So let's see what that good news is. I just made $10. Okay, so if the good news is I just made $10, what is the bad news?
The bad news is it cost me $12 in gas.
The good news is I've just made $10. The bad news, I thought there'd be more money in my parents' will.
The good news is I just made $10. The bad news is I'm kind of gonna miss my baby.
The good news is I just made $10. The bad news is this stripper's just realized her thong is empty.
The good news is I made $10. The bad news is that's after a year on OnlyFans.
Fahim's is called OnlyFan.
And it's my mom. She's like, oh, he's doing it.
He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying.
The good news is I just made $10. The bad news is I'm gonna need more blood.
The good news is I've just made $10. The bad news is I owe my pimp $8.
You have a pimp?
Yeah, he's really cool. Alonzo, say hi.
Nothing racist in that joke.
Why wasn't Natasha the pimp. Look at her jacket.
Yeah, I should be your pimp.
Okay, you are, honey.
Are we still doing this?
I don't know.
The good news is I just made $10. The bad news is Moshe's worn out as my hoe.
Hey, that was a little racist.
Like anybody paid you. Calm down.
Hey, when did I become the guy to pick on this show, damn it?
Moshe, there's something to really grab onto on the back.
Hey, there's only one person here who doesn't me, and that's Natasha.
All right. At the end of that game, I'm gonna say it's a tie. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the joke. And now it's time for a round called Hard to Sell. This game is a chance for our performers to think of names for products or items that would make them incredibly hard to sell. So let's see what the subject is. Movies. Okay, let me have some movie titles that would make them hard to sell.
Some like it room temperature.
Harry Squatter.
Edward Spoonhands.
The Wolf of Walmart.
Mission Impossible 8, Escape from Scientology.
Kramer versus Alien versus Predator.
Matrix 1.0, The Matrix in the dial-up era. Movie takes 28 hours to watch.
A European remake of 8 Mile called 12.9 Kilometer.
I love you.
Will Smith has anger management and returns in Mild, Mild West.
I thought that was called Bad Will Hunting.
Saturday the 14th. It's about cleaning up from the craziness the night before.
Inside Out, a Pixar movie about prolapse.
Paddington 3, Barely Legal.
Stick with me on this one. White Panther.
I saw all the black people go,
Back to the Future 4, Marty versus Hitler.
Bottom Gun.
Take the bottom gun and Campbell is the winner. The next game is called Sex With Me. So you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Doing laundry. Okay, so that sex with me is like doing laundry. Let's go.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. What's up with that one sock?
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I still go home to my mum to get it done.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. It will cost you 8 quarters.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. It smells better once it's done.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. Toward the end, you're gonna get dry.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I always wait until there's a massive load.
Sex with me is like laundry. If I put it off for too long, my girlfriend takes care of it herself.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I go in too hot and everything shrinks.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I do it hanging from the clothesline in the backyard.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. You may have to add bounce.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I don't see a problem with mixing whites and coloreds.
They're never gonna put that on TV.
It's progressive! I don't see a problem.
Coloreds is not progressive. That's what they used to call us.
Sorry, coloreds people.
You sound like a football coach in the South. It's progressive. I said I don't mind it.
Or the North, or all of the world. You? What do you have to say, white man?
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I'm completely white, but there's always one tiny little red thing that ruins it.
What?
Penis.
With... Oh, it's penis. Okay.
If the little red thing is the penis.
Yes.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. I've done it in the river during my hippie phase.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. You can always just push a little more in.
Yeah.
Sex with me is like... Sex with... All right, all right.
They just all think that Alonzo has a huge... Look at Alonzo. He does.
And that's why I said you'd make a great pimp. That's the only reason why. That was it. Sex with me is like doing laundry. In the old days, I just beat it against a rock.
Sex with me is like doing laundry. My maid taught me how to do it when I was a kid.
I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Mwah! That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Fahim Anwar, Ed Gamble, and Alonzo Bowden. So congratulations to you. Better luck next time to Moshe Cash and Natasha Leggero and Matthew Lassard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Watching the Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Glenn Moore, Matthew Lassard, Natasha Leggero, Hugh Dennis, Tom Allen, Alonzo Bowden, and I'm Dulce Small. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready? Yeah! Let's get started with a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is health. Tell me some health jokes.
Do you remember at school, like if you broke your arm, you get everyone to sort of sign your arm and stuff like that? Has anyone ever tried to actually do that as an adult? It is a disaster. On it, they just kick you out the schoolyard.
I have trouble watching pharmaceutical commercials because I look like the boyfriend in every herpes commercial. It's okay. It's okay. My girlfriend looks like the girlfriend in a herpes commercial.
I have to stay healthy. I have the worst health insurance in the world. My doctor told me if anything ever happens to you, get in the car, because my car insurance is so much better than my health insurance. My only hope might be a head-on collision.
I don't have any health problems. I went to the doctor and he said, you are like an athlete. I found drugs in your urine sample.
I'm an organ donor, but don't tell anyone. I like to keep it on the DL.
I found it was really hard being healthy over lockdown, and especially because I had to have a doctor's appointment over lockdown. We had to have a doctor's appointment over Skype, and my doctor actually diagnosed me with which was really difficult for me to hear.
I'm not sure how it works in America, but in England we have the NHS. I think in America it's called GoFundMe. Is that what it's called?
Los Angeles, where 100% of the women who live there eat their placenta after they have babies for health reasons. Some woman invited me over for lasagna. Okay, if you're gonna serve people something that comes out of your vagina, don't make it a dish with layers of cheese. At the most, I would vape my placenta. Maybe air fry it.
What is it with American adverts for pharmaceuticals? You have the disclaimer at the end, don't you, where you say, warning, this drug may... It'd be like for, like, supple joints or something. And they'll be like, warning, this drug may cause violence, murderous inclinations, kidney failure, sporadic diarrhea. And you sort of go, well, you know, well, I might be able to do some high kicks, but now I'm a sort of high-kicking myself murderer.
You want to know a crazy one? So I've been concerned about hair loss recently because I'm 34.
Please. Oh, please.
Stop.
Excuse me. Come on. There's two of us here, mate. All right.
This one's going to be a tough sell.
All right. I acknowledge my privilege.
It must be terrible for you. Yeah, what are you taking?
So I was looking into Propecia, but it causes decreased libido and even impotence. So this is a pill that regrows your hair and also kills your sex drive. That is a crazy trade-off. Gives you the hair of a teenager and the penis of an old man. That's not medicine. That's a short story by Edgar Allan Poe.
I am actually done with the doctor. From now on, anything happens to me, I'm going to the vet. He gives you options. Everyone wants to make their own decision. The vet's like, look, the surgery's expensive, it's complicated, it might not work. If you want, I could just kill you. That's always on the table.
Maybe I should go to a vet man, because I also suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, and I'm not sure I've been given the correct diagnosis by my doctor. He says there is a cure, and every year he's going to send my bowel on an anger management course.
He's got a pissed off colon.
My doctor is such a flirt. I went to him with a sprained wrist, and he said I had acute injury. It's a proper joke. You can't go wrong. You can't... You see...
Tom Allen is the winner of that round because he looks so smart. Now, let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue, and your where is a superhero movie. So let's hear some deleted dialogue from a superhero movie. Take it away.
I'm the first gay James Bond. I'm not called 007, I'm called Ooh, 7. I've got a license to criticize your furniture.
Is that shaken or stirred?
I can do all the dances.
Yeah, Batman couldn't be here. He's stuck in quarantine with Pangolin Man.
Everyone watching this is a virgin.
Karen, please stop wasting police time. Black Panther is here to save you.
Don't groan, he's right.
Yeah. Superman, you're American, aren't you? I am your British equivalent. Reasonably good chap.
What does that shield look like?
Yeah.
My spider sense is tingling, so you might want to get tested.
That horrible scream? No, no one's suffering. Wolverine just finished and he's wiping.
My origin story? Broken condom.
That's all of us.
Do we have to go to the multiverse today? I have so much laundry.
Spider-Man is dead, and so is Flyman. Swallowed by the wasn't old lady woman.
Oh, no. You found my one weakness. My incredibly tender balls.
That's every man.
Oh no, it's Spider-Man. Quick, grab a cup and a piece of paper and we can throw him out the window. I don't understand it all. Don't understand it at all. Oh no, it's Catwoman. Get a laser pen and distract her. Children's films, isn't it? Really. But I would be an excellent baddie in one if anybody wants to cast me. But
Tom, I feel like if you're a supervillain, you'd open up your double-breasted jacket and underneath it is just another double-breasted jacket.
It is important that the Avengers do not make mistakes. I need to know who was responsible. Was it you, cluster?
All right, thank you so much. Q wins that round because I just like saying the name Q. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. Two people are going to do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which two people that's going to be. Matthew and Glenn, yay! You two both go into the stand-up area. Glenn, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is gonna be. Family, La Familia, go!
I never really saw much of my grandparents when I was growing up. I was either at school or I was at college or I was on my year abroad when I went briefcasing around Europe. That's not to say I wasn't inspired by them. I always wanted to grow up to be like my grandfather, you know, maybe grow up to be like him, become a fireman and... firefighter, 21st century. As like a firefighter or be like my uncle, grow up and become a garbage man and... Sorry, garbage fighter. Anything like that. I remember a few years ago, I was at my grandmother's leaving drinks, which sounds a lot nicer than wake, doesn't it? And I felt bad. I felt bad that I never really got to know her, I never really got to know her husband, my grandfather, because he died decades before I was born after a difficult 6-year battle with Germany. And I remember the last thing my grandmother said to me. She said, Glenn, it doesn't matter what you achieve in your life, as long as by the end of your life you're happy and you can afford your own bed, that's all you need. And that's the last thing she told me on her death chair. I hated staying at my grandmother's so much, mainly because she lived in a remote area with barely any radio signal, barely any TV signal, and some internet, which, as we all know, is significantly worse than no internet. Because at my grandmother's house, I can get no internet reception in the bedroom. I can get perfect internet reception in the linen closet just across the hallway. So if ever I want to load up some sort of mature content, I've got to load it up on the laptop, then I've got to take it to stream in the linen closet for 10 minutes, like some sort of porn microwave. Take it back to my room again, you can guarantee halfway through a video it suddenly starts buffering again, so I've got to take it back to sexy Narnia. Trying to hop across the hallway with my pants around my ankles, I can guarantee that's when my grandma catches me in the act as well, so I look like the Pixar lamp. It's a nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Matthew, let's see what you're doing. Exercise, take it away.
I'm excited. I recently joined a support group for people who peaked in high school. Thank you. It's called CrossFit. I started doing CrossFit. If you don't know how it works, the workouts are all designed by an undercover chiropractor trying to drum up business. It's like, here's 300 pounds, pick it up, set it down, then scream like a wounded Spartan. Like, okay, what about form? Just lift with your back. I'm like, that sounds kind of painful. Like, no, don't worry about it. Pain is just cartilage leaving the kneecap, so you got this, you know? My girlfriend was an athlete. She was very good. She was a pro swimmer. I was not good at sports. I know I look like I played lacrosse for Slytherin, but I am not an athletic guy. She was a world-class swimmer. She's retired now and adjusting to life on land, but you can still tell that she was an athlete because she's tall and muscular, but still very feminine, like skinny waist, broad, childbearing shoulders. I feel very safe in her arms. We are similar in size. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are some things I miss. Like a thing a lot of straight guys like to do is you give your girlfriend your shirt to sleep in, and it fits her very baggy and billowy, and that makes you feel very manly and protective. And when my girlfriend puts on one of my shirts, it's just like, that's how that should fit. Yeah, that's great. Sleeve length and everything. Yeah, you keep that. That's yours now. And she swam her whole life, so all of the guys she dated before me were very good swimmers. Like her last boyfriend was a sprinter, so 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, a little bit of butterfly and some backstroke, and he went to collegiate nationals. He had Olympic trials cuts. I only Googled him for a few hours, but my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend is a 6'7" elite swimmer, and you would think that would be intimidating, but the really cool part about that is that we can just sleep in his old shirts. Very spacious, comes down to mid-thigh, fits like a moon. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Matthew was my favorite. Come back and sit down. Let's keep going with a round called Mincing Your Words. The way this works is that our comedians have to combine two unlikely things and make us laugh. So, let's see what combination you'll be working with tonight. Okay, celebrities and desserts? Off you go.
Dulce de leche.
That's my name!
Robert Brownie Jr.
Probably my favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar's Pan.
Chirama Susan Sarandon.
Okay, Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Gingerbread Sheeran.
Yes.
Ariana Grande Mocha Frappuccino.
Eclair Foy. That's a pretty good groaning at that.
My favorite comedian, Funfetti Murphy.
I don't know if this one's too convoluted. Okay, bear with me. John Candy.
You know who I love? The narrator, Smorgan Freeman.
Chris Brownie Extra Nuts.
I'm getting a bit desperate now. Quentin Custodino.
Well done, all of you. I thought that Matthew, Hugh, and Alonzo are the funniest. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called You Think That's Bad? This is where performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever. And I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
I used to date a substitute teacher, and it was the worst. Honestly, the sex was really hard work. And then on the last day of term, she'd just wheel out a big television and we just watch porn.
You think that's bad? Everyone's into older women. At my age, I don't get a cougar, I get a saber tooth.
You think that's bad? My brother lives in a van that he put an address on. He doesn't have a TV, so he won't be watching this.
Do you think this is bad? My parents told me when I was a baby I didn't suck my thumb, and I was like, oh, I must have been a really advanced baby. And they went, no, you just sucked all your other fingers. So I must have just been a baby sat there going...
You think that's bad? I got a notice for jury duty that said, would you like to be a juror or defendant?
I'm very no sex before marriage, it turns out.
You think that's bad? When I was a teenager, I thought I was doing a good job of hiding the fact that I was gay. And then at Christmas, our next-door neighbours bought me a purse. It was very, very helpful.
Was it a nice purse?
Well, it was perfect for putting my shoes in for gym.
You think that's bad? During the pandemic, I missed traveling so much I would go to the airport just for security to touch me.
Poor Alonzo.
You think that's bad? People assume I've never worked for anything in my life. Like, if you saw me in gay porn, your first thought would be, I bet his dad got him that job. That looks like a legacy hire.
You think that's bad? My dad said you can use it for bail or tuition.
Well done, all of you. I want to make the winner that round, Alonzo, because I like him the best. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to your pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those people might use. Ready? Let's try this famous name. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
What I want to do with you is Azkaban in several countries.
I'd like to slither into your chamber of secrets.
The best part about dating an orphan, you never have to meet my parents.
Would you like to see my trousers, Snape?
Oh, hi. I don't really know much about pickup lines. I've never seen Harry Potter. Hey, you, baby. You know, that platform's not the only thing that's 9 3/4.
Hey, baby, this is the 5th movie. I'm finally 18.
Is your name Neville? Because I long for your bottom.
Hey, baby, are you the snitch? Because I'm trying to score with you.
Hey, baby. I'm gonna have you coming back for Voldemort and more.
That wand isn't the only stick that's magic.
I'm a Gryffindor in the streets, but a Slytherin in the sheets.
I know what you're thinking. Gringotts. But the truth is, I always walk like this.
Well, I must be on the Quidditch team, because I've got wood between my legs.
I feel like he has such an unfair advantage. He looks exactly like Harry Potter. They're just his pickup lines.
Hey, once you go muggle, everything else is a struggle.
Hey, baby, are you a parcel tongue? Because my snake wants to speak to you.
Wow, I've had a lot of English actors in me.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke-Off are Glenn Moore, Natasha Leggero, and Tom Allen. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Alonzo Bowden, Hugh Dennis, and Matthew Broussard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Friends, you are watching The Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Fahim Anwar, Moshe Kasher, Ed Gamble, Reese James, Natasha Leggero, Milton Jones, and I'm Ghostface Home. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of rounds, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So you can bribe me, you can find me a nice man to talk to. I really don't care. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready?
Ready.
Wonderful. Let's start with a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say in either a location in which to say it or person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to hear, and your where is a cooking show. So tell me some weird things to hear on a cooking show. Take it away.
Well, if you don't have extra virgin olive oil, you can always try dirty, dirty slut olive oil.
I used to be one of those cooks who shouts and swears a lot, but then I discovered oven gloves.
I'm Gordon Ramsay, and all your dishes were wonderful.
Oh, that asparagus smells great. And it smelled even better yesterday when I cooked it.
This is a recipe passed down by my grandmother, and tasting it, I think she may have been in the early stages of dementia.
Coconut oil is an excellent choice, whether you're frying up a chicken or lubing up a stranger. I only have oil-based jokes, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, in America, they call these eggplants, but in the UK, we call them chickens.
Welcome to the UFC, where we're going to find the ultimate chef.
And I came up with this dish, meat surprise, on a trip to Thailand, where things aren't always as they seem.
And now basil and rosemary go into the oven, here at the retirement home crematorium.
Say basil.
Have you noticed how vegans always look miserable in photographs? Probably because they resent saying the word cheese.
I'm now going to roast these carrots, you wonky orange bitches.
Wonky orange bitches.
I do feel that's quite a British insult.
For this recipe, you're gonna need a spoon, a belt, and an alley.
Welcome back, Paula Deen.
Well, listen, we're done. And thanks to wonky orange bitches, Ed Gamble is the winner of that round. Now, let's play a game called You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's going to start us off?
You know what annoys me is people who use the phrase the human experience to talk about just like normal life. Just in case I thought you were talking from the perspective of a horse.
You know what annoys me? Virtue signalling white liberals and prejudice.
Oh, you know what annoys me? How everyone in Los Angeles is trying to make it. Like, you can walk up to any random person in Hollywood and be like, hey, I'm a big fan. And they'd be like, thank you.
You know what annoys me is play-by-play texting. It has gotten out of control. Like, you used to just, like, make a plan, you'd show up, they'd show up, everything was fine. Now it's like, okay, leaving the house now, okay, driving, okay, traffic, okay, well, that took longer than I thought, okay, parking, okay, I have to throw away a bottle, okay, do you know if there's recycling around here? Okay, walking towards you, okay, we're hugging. Enough.
See, what annoys me is no one turned up to the first meeting of my sarcasm club, despite loads of people saying how much they were looking forward to it.
Oh, I get it.
You know what annoys me is people who use the phrase just dropped. They say just dropped, like, oh, my new album just dropped, you know? And people say it about stuff that isn't albums. My friend the other day said it about his new baby.
You know what annoys me? When shopkeepers give you your change and they put the notes on and then they put the coins on top of the notes.
Yes!
These two things are not going to the same destination. They shouldn't be in the same hand, so now I've got to be a magician and sort of whip the note out as quickly as possible.
You know what annoys me is Christian rock music. Why? Why? Why would they think that that's music that would compel people to join their religion? If you play it backwards, you can actually hear God screaming, "No! Not in my name!" I mean, they used to have beautiful Christian music. There was Byzantine chanting, there was gospel music. Now it's just like, me and Jesus eat a sandwich! In the back of a pickup truck!
What really annoys me is that I used to live in an apartment with 3 girls, but one day they found out.
Wow, that is so sad.
You know what annoys me is when you have concrete plans with someone, it's been in the diary for months, you double, triple check, and not only do they not turn up, you still have to pay for the wedding.
You know what annoys me? People who aren't food-focused. Like people, you go over to their house and they say, oh, I think we've got some cookies, I'll just go and check. How do you not know the exact coordinates of every snack in your house at all times?
You know what annoys me is when I go to bed every night, Moshe is watching Star Trek. I am drying up at warp speed. I'm about to boldly go to a divorce attorney.
You know what annoys me? It's the guy at the airport who never takes his neck pillow off. He looks like a Star Wars senator the whole time.
You know what annoys me is people who say you should start your day with an ice-cold shower. It's everywhere now. People say you've got to do this Wim Hof method, start with an ice-cold shower. And the main reason they say it is because apparently it reduces stress. Oh, does it? Listen, you know what I find stressful? Breathless goose pimples and a fully retracted penis.
See what annoys me? I was in the park the other day watching an old man feed the birds. And after a while, I thought to myself, I wonder how long he's been dead.
Wonderful cream soup. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the joke. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are going to do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's gonna be. Milton and Fahim. All right, so you 2 both get up to the stand-up area. And Fahim, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Showbiz. Off you go.
Okay. So, I'm a stand-up comedian, but I also act. I'll audition for things in LA, and it's not going very well. I'm getting a lot of one-and-dones. You know, they'll be like, that was great, thanks for coming in. I'm like, really, it didn't feel great. She's like, no, it's so good. Like, their face gets more contorted the more they're lying to you. Like, no, it's so good. You crushed it, please leave, I can't keep this up. I did this one audition for a kids show. It was going out for the role of this hip-hop dance instructor. And so the first part of the audition, there was 2 parts of it. The first part was lines and scenes, and then the second part, they wanted to know you could dance. So I finished the first part, and then the guy looks up at me and he goes, now dance for us. Like, the only way it would have been more belittling is if he bit into a peach. Dance for us. So I was dancing, and there was no music, there was no boombox. Like, they wanted to make it as sad as possible. So I'm just dancing in utter silence. Like, all you could literally hear was the rustling of my clothes. And some of you don't know this about me, but I used to be an aerospace engineer, and there was a moment during the audition where I was like, you used to build airplanes. And she was like, that was great. Thanks for coming in. Yeah.
Thank you, Fahim. Milton, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Milton, your subject is travel. Take it away.
Been doing some traveling recently. Didn't think much of the film on the plane coming back from Australia. Turned out to be a 24-hour animation of a plane traveling from Sydney to London. Whatever you do, don't go and see Time to Destination. All the way across on the plane, my wife was going, why don't you get an upgrade? Why don't you get an upgrade? Took a bit of time, but in the end, I got a better wife. In America, I really got into the culture. I went into a shop and the guy said, "Have a nice day," and I didn't, so I sued him. Went up to this girl, I said, "What's your name?" She said, "Chantel." I said, "Well, if you're not going to tell me your name..." Turns out the residents of Paris aren't actually called parasites.
It's now time for a game called If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, "if you catch my drift." So, comedians, your scenario is a bakery. Who's going to start us off?
Those tarts look past their best, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, it hasn't risen like I thought it would, if you catch my drift.
I've heard that too many times, Chris.
I went to fill her cakes with cream, but it was already filled with chocolate, if you catch my drift. You guys caught my drift a little too much.
Listen, don't worry, I've lightly greased the rim, if you catch my drift.
Let's put some nuts on top of those muffins, if you catch my drift.
I've got a wet, spongy center, if you catch my drift.
I wouldn't peel the buns apart. It's completely raw in the middle, if you catch my drift.
Okay, I beat that a little longer than I should have, if you catch my drift.
In Britain, we say jam, but as this is America, I'll say jelly.
We also have jam.
Yeah. I'll do the American version first.
Okay.
I'm gonna jelly my into these donuts.
But you don't understand, the edit for this show is going to be 1.5 minutes long.
You know, this show goes out on a Sunday morning.
If I whip it out now, you're going to have a very soggy bottom, if you catch my drift.
I like mine to be Italian bread, if focaccia my drift.
Oh, yeah.
Bingo.
Reese, that was so funny. What is focaccia?
Oh, God. OK, in England, we say jam.
It's bread, right?
Yeah, it's Italian pinchy bread.
It's that oily-ass bread.
It's an oily-ass bread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. You've got an oily ass, if you catch my drift.
Thank you, all right. The winner of that round is Reese James, because I just like the way he operates. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called You Think That's Bad? This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be from childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever, and I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start? Make me say it.
You think that's bad? I joined an arm wrestling league just so I could hold somebody's hand.
You think that's bad? My husband, Moshe Kasher, is so obsessed with going to Burning Man every year. I've had to go 3 times. People at Burning Man are so dirty, it looks like they've arrived by chimney.
In England, we call it Birmingham.
You think that's bad? The other day I walked in on my housemate masturbating, and he was like, "Reese, this is disgusting. Do this in your own room." Why are you walking around? Lie down like the rest of us.
You think that's bad? I come from a family of failed magicians. I've got 2 half-sisters.
You think that's bad? I live in Koreatown. I feel like you're not doing well when you live in another ethnic group's town.
You think that's bad? I did a marathon once, and I had a bottle of Gatorade for energy in one hand and a bottle of water in the other hand. And I got really hot about halfway through the marathon, so I thought I'll cover myself in water. I got mixed up, covered myself in Gatorade, and I was so sticky I was chased by one bee for 10 miles.
You think that's bad? I live in a windmill. And to be honest, golf balls keep coming through the front door.
You think that's bad? I had sex with a dirty aristocrat. She didn't give me crabs, she gave me lobsters.
You think that's...
Rich bitch.
Honey, that's not true, right?
Honey, you're the only dirty aristocrat in my life.
You think that's bad? The other day after a show, someone came up to me and said, you know, I don't normally find female comedians funny, but that was great.
You think that's bad? I once accidentally called my teacher Daddy, but it did really improve the sex.
Do you think that's bad? I got home from work the other day and my wife was wearing this slinky number, which only really worked when she went downstairs.
You think that's bad? I once got dumped by a woman who worked at a suicide hotline because she said talking to me made her too depressed.
But we got back together.
At the end of that game, the winners are Moshe Kasher, Reese James, and Milton Jones. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to your pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to come up with pickup lines those people might use. Let's try this suggestion. Superheroes. All right, show me what you got.
Hey, girl, are you Avengers Endgame? Because you've got the biggest opening since records began.
Look, you're not a 10, but you are a fantastic 4.
Once you go Black Panther, you never go back Panther.
Why have sex with a teenager or a Ninja Turtle when it could be both?
They call me Wi-Fi Man because I'm not strong in the bedroom and I go down on you during Zoom meetings.
Are you Thor? Well, you will be after some sex.
I am Electric Ian. OK, electrician.
Black Widow. I know, I'm neither of those things.
I call my penis Christopher Nolan's Batman because it's really long and has a weird twist at the end.
With great power comes great ability.
I am Magic Ian.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's my...
I am Librarian.
Let's stop there, because it's a tie! Everyone come on back. Hey, don't move. I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Fahim Anwar, Ed Gamble, and Natasha Leggero. So congratulations to you. Never mind to Milton Jones, Reese James, and Moshe Kasher. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye! Hello, friends. You're watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismael Luffy, and I'm Ghostface Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's all about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start sucking up now. Yeah. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Think That's Bad? This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever. And I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
My girlfriend's pushing marriage pretty hard, and I'm getting older, so I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and kill myself.
You think that's bad? I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life, ever. Yeah, because I'm Muslim, and Muslims, we believe that alcohol makes people act irrationally, so we don't drink it, which explains why Muslims never act irrationally.
There's no way that joke could get us in trouble at all.
I'm Muslim, I can say it.
I actually also, weirdly, have never had a drink of alcohol in my life because I'm 11.
You think that's bad? I was a smart baby. I could talk when I was 6 months old, but I couldn't walk until I was 2 years old. So there was a year and a half of my life where I was just posted up against a wall like, oh no. I can't move. Can I just get a cup of coffee? That'd be great. Thank you so much. You know how unsettling it is to walk into a room and see an infant upright in a bassinet like, hi, how are you? How's it going? I swear we're just breastfeeding like, can't seem to quit this stuff.
I think that's bad. I went on a Black Lives Matter march last year, and there was a moment during the march where everyone decided to silently take the knee. And let me tell you, as a white man, that is maybe the worst time possible to get cramp.
You think that's bad? I couldn't find the BLM march, and I asked a cop, which I think might be the whitest thing I've ever done.
You think that's bad? I tried doing improv comedy once, and my friend who was in the crowd said, that was like watching my dad get beat up.
You think that's bad? I went on a blind date with a man who had the biggest butt I've ever seen. As soon as he walked in, I was like, well, all three of us are in a relationship.
You think that's bad? My current wife is super, super jealous. Like, before I left to do this show, she was like, hey, you better not talk to any dumb bimbos after your show, which is weird, because that's how we met, you know? Respect your heritage, that's all I'm saying.
You think that's bad? No one trusts me because I look like the villain in an 80s movie, right? It's hard. It's hard to feel bad for a guy with resting rich face. Yes.
You think that's bad? I just called my wife my current wife on national television.
You think that's bad? My vegan friend is very sensitive. I'm walking on eggshells around this guy. He really hates that.
I think that's bad. One time I was with my girlfriend in bed and I was about to euphemism her metaphor and in the heat of the moment, I used the word vulva. And she was like, ugh, can't you just say vagina? I was like, well, no, I'm referring to the exterior parts. The vagina only refers to the canal portion. She was like, just stop saying that word. And I was like, no, that's like calling your face your throat.
They're still together.
Not after that.
You think that's bad? I just learned what the vulva is.
Vulva. You look like you drive one.
Just because of his bone structure. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to say, and your where is in a medical examination.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So let's hear some weird things to say in a medical examination.
Are you a smoker? Awesome. Can I bum one?
I'd like to sign up for Viagra, please. Looks like you don't need it.
We will need another urine sample. I already finished the first one.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to pop my index finger into your rectum. Okay, well, how do you propose we kill time till the doctor can see us?
Do you have a sore throat? Do you want one?
Yes, I do!
I'm afraid you're going to inherit your father's low-functioning pancreas. To be honest, he's written the weirdest will I've ever seen in my life.
Your son, he didn't make it. He's a failure in life. He's on a comedy panel show right now.
Hey!
Wow. Baby number 3 really did a number on you.
Ah, I see the confusion. When I said you were going to be cured, I meant in the Italian meat sense.
Oh, doctor, I don't know what's going on. I keep getting like sweaty palms, and then all of a sudden I'm on the phone with my ex. Is there any way that you're single? Or...
I have the results of your Are You Allergic to Chairs test. You might want to stand up for this.
That's great.
I can't believe I have to say this, but no, GoFundMe does not accept sperm donations.
No, those aren't medical students. They just pay me to watch.
Hey, if you're dating a doctor and you want to get out of it, just eat an apple.
Now, it's important to note that me examining your genitals could lead to an erection, but I will try to stay calm.
All right, thank you very much. Reese maybe laughed the most in that round, so his team wins. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is lifestyle. So give me some lifestyle jokes.
I'm a hypochondriac. I think I'm sick all the time, and my girlfriend thinks she's pregnant every day. So, great combo, right? I can't go to her with my weird fears about my health anymore because she just one-ups me every time. You know, I'll be like, babe, will you look at my back? I think I have skin cancer. She's like, skin cancer? That's cute. Tell that to your son.
So I have a cat. And got a cat at the house. I like having a cat, you know. Having a cat's like living with a heroin addict. You know, they sleep most of the day, then right when you think you're getting along, they cut you. But cats don't really care about you, you know. I read an article about a guy who tried to blow his brains out, and his dog knocked the pistol out of his hand. I was like, man, I think my cat would load the gun.
I also have a cat. We just got a new one. His name is Password. My girlfriend works in cybersecurity. I learned the most commonly used password is your pet's name, and I didn't feel like changing mine, so Password.
I'm trying to be healthier at the moment. I'm trying to drink more water. You've got to drink so much water, haven't you, throughout the day? It's so hard to remember. So I've come up with this sort of hack, this sort of, like, you don't even have to remember, it just forces you to drink water and be healthy, and that is, I take ecstasy.
I thought you were gonna say you had one of those hamster bottles in your apartment where you just walk up and go.
Look, if you're gonna mock British teeth, don't do it in such a subtle way.
Yeah, you know, I'm horrible at picking up the ladies.
No.
Yeah. I always say the wrong thing. I remember I met a girl at a bar recently. I take out a condom. She goes, whoa, where'd you get that thing? I was like, well, they were free at the bar. She was like, oh, that's gross. I was like, well, that's where I got you.
Turned 34 recently. I'm a millennial. Yeah, millennials, we thought we were progressive because we fought for gay marriage. We were like, let gay people marry. And they were like, never. And now Gen Z is like, gender is a myth, sexuality is fluid, and a couple is up to 9 people. And they're like, we'll give you gay marriage. Is that still? Drive a hard bargain.
It's kind of a weird time for a lot of us on this panel at the moment, actually. It's kind of, there's a lot of hardship for some of us, because like, for me, especially my demographic, because I'm a white man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which means, hear me out for once.
I'm just looking at who's clapping.
Listen, I'm a white man, okay, which means that a lot of people hate me at the moment, all right? But listen, I'm a white man, so it doesn't matter. It's literally fine.
Chanel, you know, I've dated a lot of different ethnicities. I think that's good. I think it's good for perspective, you know? Because, like, white guys are fun just because they get so amped. They're very excitable. I mean, the first time I took off my shirt in front of a white guy, he was like, holy smokes. I don't know any black guys that say holy smokes.
Still the best night of my life.
Damn you, Mark. Private.
I was a math guy. I studied math in college. I love it very much. It means I'm not a fun person. I try to go to parties. It falls apart. I'm like, yeah, bros before hoes, before parentheses, before exponents, before multiplication.
I'll tell you, I failed math so many times, I can't even count.
Was great, but I think I'm gonna have to give the round to Mike Norman because he is crazy. Now we play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image and our comedians suggest captions. So let's have a look at this picture from an old comic book. What are they saying?
This is my white guilt keeping me up at night.
Is this just what happened if you didn't forward an email to 15 friends in 2001?
No. A lot of people don't know, but this is actually what happens when you don't do your taxes.
I am the ghost of masturbation past.
So this is gay porn.
Sure, the one that visits you as a child is sweet, but the wisdom tooth fairy is creepy as hell.
This is actually a photo of me waking up my girlfriend because I'm excited that the hotel has free robes.
Hey, man, this isn't IKEA. You can't sleep in the beds.
The way he's pointing, it looks like he's going, sorry, did I leave my iPhone charger just there? Sorry, did I just...
He's a recruiter for Young Republicans of America.
We need your help.
Oh, no, my pile of used Kleenex has come to life.
That's my favorite.
That's enough. I think the winners are Luke Monet, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now let's keep moving with the game called That Reminds Me. I'm going to ask the performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can take turns to jump in and say, that reminds me, and do their own bit based on any thought that's been triggered. So, who wants to start?
I'm very bad at reading, and I've been trying to read more, so what I do is I read the book while listening to the audiobook at the same time, and it works, but I feel like such a little slut that I have to jam it in 4 different holes just to read something. My biggest fear is someone's gonna hand me the book in Braille, and I'll just start tonguing the bumps.
That reminds me, my comedy is a lot like the Polar Express. You have to have the joy of Christmas in your heart to truly hear it. Remember that movie, The Polar Express? It came out in 2004. It was animated, but also kind of not animated. What the is that? CGI was not there yet. They were like, go for it. No one will notice. This is Tom Hanks. He's the conductor. No. That looks like White Shrek. What is happening? Coincidentally, White Shrek, my nickname in high school.
That reminds me. I was dating a lady, and she was worried she was pregnant, so she got a couple pregnancy tests, and when she wasn't looking, I peed on one. It came up positive. I was like, that's weird. So I Googled it, said I might have testicular cancer. And I thought, whew, still better than a kid.
Question.
Go ahead.
How did the Polar Express remind you of that?
Yeah, that reminds me. I don't get that expression, I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Oh, we're supposed to trust you? The guy who throws people?
That reminds me. I grew up with a guy who was very homophobic. He was mad that he said gay people stole the rainbow. That was like his big beef. Gay guys took the rainbow, which might be the gayest complaint I've ever heard in my entire life.
That reminds me, I love musicals. Now, Mark, that's how you get reminded of something. My favourite musical is Cats, because it combines my two favourite things, cats and men dressed as cats for money.
That reminds me, my favorite musical is Sweeney Todd because of all the white-on-white crime.
They killed so many people in that play. And then they put them in food.
That reminds me, I love yoga pants because you can wear them anywhere. At least that's what I thought before I was kicked out of a stranger's funeral.
That reminds me, I need to stop reading YouTube comments. They're insane. My favorite comment I ever got was, Islam is a cancer, Muslims are rodents. Pretty good set, though. I was so offended. I was like, pretty good.
That reminds me, I was drunk when I wrote that.
Tally. All right. You were all great that round, but Luke Moniz is the biggest, so his team are the winners. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Breakfast. Is it? Show me.
Sex with me is like breakfast. It involves a surprising amount of pork.
I'm scared. Sex with me is like breakfast. I love it, but can never get up in time to have it.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I prefer to have it alone in my car.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I haven't had it with my entire family since I was a little kid.
Sex with me is like breakfast. If OJ is there, it's gonna get messy.
Sex with me is like breakfast. McDonald's is very particular about when you can do it there.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I don't care what you heard. Stop serving at 10:30.
Sex with me is like breakfast. People can't remember it 2 hours later.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My doctor says I need to stop adding cheese.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I always leave sticky.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I used to get it from my partner, but now I just use the NutriBullet.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My coworkers get annoyed when I do it at my desk.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I love to. Okay.
Oh my God! He's out of control. He is out of control.
Good Lord.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I want to get it from Luke.
Great American Joke-Off this week are Luke Moniz, Janelle Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Ismael Lupi, Mark Norman, and Matthew Broussard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye!
For 10 weeks this summer, 12 of Britain's best amateur bakers battled it out in the tent. For the first time, they faced sugar-free baking.
Got the fear. Cake fear.
Victorian-era classics.
I think I filled it too.
Obscure Cypriot delicacy.
Not in a million years have I heard of this recipe at all.
Decisions. All of them wrong.
And as the stakes got higher, the challenges got tougher.
How do I get it from there to there? You twisted it.
But even a few wobbles didn't stop the bakers as they fought to impress judges Mary Berry and Paul Hollywood.
That's fantastic. I mean, really well done.
On the whole, I think they've been the best bakers we've had.
But now it's Mary and Paul's turn to share their knowledge with you, showing you step by step how to make each one of their favourite bakes perfectly.
Get your cup of tea ready, sit in your comfy armchair, and watch what Mary and I are going to create.
Coming up, Mary makes a delicious guilt-free carrot cake, perfect when one slice just isn't enough, followed by an indulgent apricot frangipan tart. Paul creates flaunas, a classic Cypriot pastry, then revisits the Victorian era with a raised game pie, and finally creates a show-stopping lime and passion fruit charlotte russe. Every week, Mary and Paul ask the bakers to complete 3 challenges, and each week there is a theme. But as the bakers hit the halfway mark, the theme was a little different: alternative ingredients.
Morning, bakers. Now, for your signature bake, Paul and Mary would like you to bake a cake.
But you can't use sugar, OK? You can use honey, fruit, but nothing that comes from a bag.
It can be any shape, size or flavour that you desire.
2.5 hours on the bake.
On your marks.
Get set, bake!
I think we're looking for something that's as close to a regular cake as possible. It's just a bit harder.
I have made sugar-free cakes before, so I feel okay with sugar-free. Yeah. Dare I say it?
Mary's sugar-free carrot cake, made with agave and maple syrup, is the perfect alternative to the classic and every bit as delicious.
Paul, carrot cake. This time, a sugar-free carrot cake.
This was an interesting challenge, actually, we set them. It was interesting to see what flavours they were going to introduce. Obviously, they needed natural sweetness. You've gone down the carrot cake. I think it's a very wise choice. It's naturally quite sweet as well, and it packs a punch.
Well, the sweetener I'm using is agave syrup. It's a little bit like aloe vera, you know, that plant. Inside, it has a lovely sweetness.
Great for tanning yourself, aloe vera. Not that I'd know.
Is it? Well, I think you used a bit of it. Come on. Anyway, let's get on with it. So to start with, I'm going to have 200 ml of vegetable oil.
Yep.
And then if you put the agave syrup in there, and you need 175 ml. OK?
OK.
And then we need 3 eggs. Then I'm going to add 400 grams of carrots, and they want to be grated on a fairly coarse grater.
OK.
That's it.
Once the carrots are grated, add to the eggs.
There you go.
Perfect.
Spot on.
Then add agave syrup and vegetable oil and mix.
That's just perfect. Right, I'll put that to one side and start the dry ingredients. 275 grams of self-raising flour. That's it.
Then measure out 2 level teaspoons of baking powder and add to the self-raising flour.
And the reason why we're adding more baking powder is because this is a pretty wet mixture and it's heavy with carrots, so it'll give it that extra lift.
To the self-raising flour and baking powder, add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon
Like that.
and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice. Thoroughly mix the flour and spices. Then add 150 grams of walnut pieces and 150 grams of sultanas. Then into the mix, grate the zest of an orange.
Thank you very much. So in go the dry ingredients on top. I'm going to put it in the mixer to whiz round just until it's all mixed. There we are. So if you just watch that in, it's really like a fairly runny batter. And these will be going in the oven at 160 fan. So into the oven on the same shelf.
Using natural sugars gives the cake a darker colour when baked. This means that predicting when the cake is baked is notoriously tricky.
I can't almost tell whether it's burning or if it's just... But hopefully it's not burning, it's just the molasses.
A bit longer.
Definitely not. Got the fear. Cake fear.
Yeah, I'm not taking me off the ball. On this.
To avoid burning, the cakes should be covered in foil for the last 10 minutes of the bake.
So there we are. These took just about 40 minutes. That's mixed. So there we have it. Now, just assemble the whole thing together. Can you find me a cake stand? I think there's one at the end. That's right. They are very moist, so be very careful when you start off. That's it. I've only added a tablespoonful of that maple syrup, and I think it's quite nice not to have it too sweet in the icing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it there. Then we'll put the cake on top. It gives you quite a good height, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Spread the cream cheese frosting onto the top layer.
It's a lovely consistency.
And finish with a palette knife.
There we are.
Pipe the remaining frosting onto the cake and decorate with rosettes.
There we are. And now a few walnuts on the top. That's just lovely. And a dusting of cinnamon to remind people that's one of the flavours.
Absolutely.
And there you have it.
Well baked, Mary. Lovely colour.
We expect it to be very moist, as carrot makes a moist cake.
That is delicious. You would never know that that has no sugar in it at all. That's delicious.
I'm quite pleased with that. Good job that we left the walnuts in fair-sized pieces, because it's nice to come across in the cake.
It is nice. It adds a lovely texture to the cake too. I think overall, you'd never know. Eat yourself slim, Mary. Eat yourself slim.
Week 6 was all about pastry, and the baker's first challenge was a classic.
Good morning, bakers. For this morning's signature challenge, Paul and Mary would very much like you to make a frangipane tart. Now, frangipane cream, for your information, was named after the 16th century Italian nobleman Muzio Frangipane.
Nice.
And pastry cases after the 16th century Italian nobleman Giovanni Shortcrust.
Now, your tart must be open top, it must be made of short crust pastry, and most important of all, you've got 2 hours on this, bakers. On your mark,
Get set,
bake.
I'm not feeling massively confident, really. Underprepared, I think.
So nervous this week. I just feel like I need to get better.
Mary's frangipane tart is an elegant classic. She's using a spiral of apricot halves glazed with a homemade apricot jam, covered in flaked almonds.
Frangipane tart It's a lovely, strong flavour of almonds. Sometimes I top it with different fruits. Today I'm going to use apricots, but you can use peaches or pears, or plums, whatever's in season. But I think it's a great pud with lashings of cream.
Or custard.
Or custard. Right, for the pastry, 225 grams of plain flour. And you'll need 100 grams of butter. That's lovely. So I'm going to rub that in, and I'm going to do it using a processor.
How much sugar do you need preparing, Mary?
50 grams of caster sugar. So in goes the flour and the butter. And then... And that is quick, easy, all done.
Okay.
Then I'm going to add the sugar to that. And if I can have one egg just beaten, a large egg, that's lovely, and a tablespoonful of water in there. That's good enough, isn't it? I'm going to turn that on for a second with the sugar. And then I'm going to add the egg all at once and just combine it until it's all together. That's it. So let's just tip this out. And I'm just going to bring that together.
Oh, yeah, feels good. Yeah.
So I'm going to roll that out. And a must in our house is to have a proper rolling pin. I don't like the ones you fill with ice water or a marble. There's nothing like a proper rolling pin.
I don't like the one with the knobs at the end.
Neither do I. So there we are. We're all agreed. So you can fill it with either foil or I'm taking baking parchment like that. And you should have some baking beans over there. Just stick some of those in. That's it. So that needs to go into the oven, which we preheated at 170 degrees fan, and that will take about 15 minutes.
Not all of the bakers decided to blind bake their bases.
For a frangipani tart, I don't think you do blind bake, but we shall find out.
If you blind bake it first, it means that the pastry's less likely to get soggy with the filling.
But if I'm a blind baked, is any pastry that's above the frangipan, it's baked twice, it looks burnt, it doesn't look very nice and attractive, and I've done it without it, and it doesn't need it.
Now that's beautifully dried out. You see, it's got the tinge of colour on the outside. It's absolutely dry in the middle. It really is best to bake blind because you're sure of getting the pastry done underneath. So let's put that to one side, let it get cold, and we'll on to the filling.
Right.
First, weigh out 175 grams of butter and 175 grams of caster sugar. Then combine the butter and sugar until creamy. As that mixes, measure out 175 grams of ground almonds.
So the ground almonds can go in, just sitting there.
Pour the almonds into the butter and caster sugar mixture and add 4 eggs.
And then we need a teaspoonful of almond extract. Now, very important to use almond extract because it brings out the flavour of the almonds and it's much stronger than using almond essence.
Yeah.
I'm going to judge that because I make this often. I absolutely love frangipan tart.
Once the frangipan is mixed, cover the base of the tart with a generous layer of apricot jam.
Lovely, isn't it?
Great colour.
So we've got a good layer right to the edges so everybody will get a taste. And then I'm going to put the almond mixture on top.
Spread the frangipan over the apricot jam, making sure it reaches all the way to the edge.
And then once this is cooked, I'm putting apricots on top. So that's it. That goes into 170 fan oven, and it'll take about 30 or 40 minutes. Well, that looks pretty good. It's had about 35 minutes. You can see that it's absolutely set. And it's shrinking back from the sides, which is just what we want. So we'll just leave that to cool a bit. Meanwhile, we'll get on with the next stage.
Mary's tart will be decorated with poached fresh apricot halves.
I've got the apricots here, and I'll tell you how I cook them. My method is to take 300 ml of water and 150 ml of sugar, dissolve the sugar, bring it to the boil, and then drop the apricot halves into the syrup and move it off the heat.
Wow, okay.
And leave it to get cold, and the heat of the pan and the sugar, the syrup, cook them. And they... So there it is, my apricot frangipane tart. What do you think of it?
Love it. I think the apricots with the almond together will be delicious. Can't wait. This looks fantastic. Those apricots all over the top, and those flaked almonds, I think, make a difference, don't they? But let's see if we can cut our way through this.
Should be lovely, crispy pastry, and that's what it's all about.
Indeed it is. Look at that.
It's really well baked underneath, which it matters, and it is a lovely thin pastry underneath.
That apricot jam makes a difference underneath. That's delicious. The almond coming through is fantastic. Marries up really well with the apricots on the top.
Well, I think it's good as a cake. It's also good as a special pud, you know. Sunday lunchtime, a lovely pudding to have afterwards.
From a quintessential home bake to something rather more unknown, the technical challenge in Pastry Week left the bakers with puzzled faces.
This is a recipe close to Paul's heart, just nestling underneath the chest hair.
Paul and Mary would very much like you to make flaunas. It's a cheese-filled pastry made in Cyprus to celebrate the end of Lent.
You've got 2 hours on the flaunas clock. On your marks.
Get set, flauna.
What is this?
Not in a million years have I heard of this recipe at all.
No, never heard of them. Never heard of them.
It sounds like an airline.
It sounds like...
Flaunas.
The way you say it, it sounds like it's an insult. Flaunas.
Flaunas.
I've made these a few times. No, I'm really... never heard of it.
With a filling of cheese and sultanas wrapped up in a spiced bread-like pastry covered with sesame seeds, Paul has kept his flaunas traditional.
Flaunas, Mary. What do you reckon on that as a technical challenge? It was a good one or indifferent?
Well, I, for one, had no idea what a flauna was. I think it was a fairly tricky challenge because every single person didn't know what they were going to do.
That's exactly
once they
right.
read that recipe.
That's exactly
But they made
right.
quite a good job, considering.
They did OK. They did OK. I mean,
You're not going to give any praise.
No. But let's see if we can knock some up ourselves. Can you grate me some cheese, please? Now, you've got some halloumi there. Could you grate me 250 grams of that halloumi with that big grater into that bowl, please?
Along with the halloumi, grate 500 grams of pecorino romano. Mix together in a large bowl and set to one side.
Now, I've got some more ingredients to put in. Thank you. I need 100 grams of sultanas.
Right. 100 exactly.
Thank you. That can go straight in there. If you can just coat them around.
With the dry ingredients mixed,
Thank you.
break 4 eggs. Add 4 tablespoons of milk. Beat together and add to the dry ingredients.
Right. I'm going to mix this all together. And it forms a little paste. Now, the cheese is going to go in here now as well. This will pad it out a little bit as well.
Now, that is a very strange mixture to me. It's really mostly cheese, isn't it?
It is mostly cheese. And do you know what I'm going to do?
Get your hands in.
Get my hands in there. Now, that's the actual filling I'm going to place to one side. Could you weigh me up 750 grams of the strong flour? Now, this is the coating on the outside. This is the dough that's going to wrap around the filling. What is unusual about the filling, it's got yeast in, and we're going to have baking powder too.
That's it.
Now I need, you see you got the 2 pots. Can you bring me those 2 pots of spices on the end, please? Now, this is interesting. What you've got here is mastika, and this is meklabi.
I don't know that at all.
It's a spice. It's a seed which you ground down. It creates this beautiful smell. And it's a flavour in a lot of Greek cooking and baking. Now, what I need is 2 teaspoons of that in there, please. Now, what I'm going to use, I'm going to get this. This is mastika. This is basically gum, OK? Now, I need a teaspoon of this to go in there.
And if you were going to buy those 2, where would you buy them? Would you get them on the internet or would you go to a Cypriot shop?
You can actually buy them from health food shops. See, and some supermarkets are now stocking these. Now, what I'm going to do is just mix these together. Just blend these up at the moment. The next thing I need is 7 grams of the instant yeast, please. Straight in.
There we are. Shall I put it on one side?
Yes, please. Can I have a teaspoon of caster sugar? Just a little bit of sweetness in there.
And here's the salt.
Now, I've got my core ingredients, 60 grams of butter, if you could, as well, Mary.
I've done it perfectly for you. There you are.
Straight in there. Thank you. Now, there's some milk in a jug. There's about 450 ml of milk. I'm just going to start rubbing this butter into the flour.
That is actually 400. You might need a little bit more. See
Well,
how
let's
it
just
goes.
add a little bit at a time. Always add about 3/4 to start with. Give that a little bit of a mix. This is where the bakers looked at their mix and thought, oh, do I have to knead this or not? You need to do enough to bind the pastry dough together. That's the key thing. And just pop that to one side, thank you. Now, I'm happy with that. It's come together, and it's still fairly loose. You can see all the little rips and tears everywhere.
Right, OK.
Now, I'm going to pop that into this bowl.
And?
Cover it up, and then we'll leave that to rest. Now, over here, 200 grams of sesame seed, if you could, Mary.
And these are not toasted, they're just straight sesame
They're just
seeds.
plain sesame seed. But if you get some boiling water from a pan and pop them in, we're going to add a little splash of white wine vinegar. Give that a mix. Now we're going to leave these to rest in here for a bit. What happens is the hot water balloons, it expands the sesame seed and just puffs it up. So when it sticks on the pastry, it just looks nicer and they're all puffed up and it releases all their flavour.
Once the water, vinegar and sesame seeds are mixed, leave them and the dough to rest for around 15 to 20 minutes.
Right, Mary, I've got my dough, I've got my sesame seed and I've got my filling. So what the first thing I'm going to do, you can see how much this has grown.
It looks quite different. It's lost all that patchiness that it
Nature
had.
does a lot of this work. So I'm just going to divide this into 2. So I should get 6 from each. I'm going to make 12 in total.
Roll out the pastry on a floured surface until roughly 3 millimeters thick.
It's like making phyllo, isn't it?
Then, using a template, cut into 12 15-centimeter squares.
That's a pizza wheel, is it?
Always useful.
Once the squares are cut, drain the sesame seeds and scatter them on the work surface. Lay the cut pastry on top and firmly press down on the seeds.
Now, I've got a baking powder, a little teaspoon of baking powder, please, Mary.
Right.
This encourages this filling to rise and open up inside the flowuna.
Once thoroughly mixed, take the cheese filling and divide into 12 equal portions.
12 of these little balls, doesn't matter if you use a little bit of flour. Shape them, and you fold over 2 sides like that. And then you fold over the pieces onto the top, both sides again, leaving a little hole in the middle, a little square, which will puff up as you bake it.
But it's totally different. I can't think of another Danish pastry or anything that is folded just like that.
No, it is different.
Folding the flowners was yet another source of confusion for the bakers in Pastry Week.
Then you put the filling in the centre of each square and fold over the edges.
Even the centre's exposed.
But then you get a really thick layer of pastry. That doesn't seem very pleasant.
Really?
You just got to guess.
No, can't be.
That looks quite nice.
Sorry to all of Cyprus if I am ruining a lovely national dish.
Decisions. All of them wrong.
Once folded, brush the tops of the flowners with beaten egg yolk.
So what you need to do, ideally, is leave that to rest for about 15 minutes before you bake them off. Now, you bake them at 180 fan for about 15-20 minutes, drop it down to 165 and leave it again for another 15 minutes.
So, into the oven.
Right, Mary. There you go.
They really do look amazing. They've grown since you went in the oven.
But you can see how much they've grown and puffed up and made the hole in the top, which has sort of gone slightly round, really, which is absolutely fine.
Smells so good, too.
I can't wait to try them, actually. They'll be delicious.
Me too.
Here they are, Mary. My little taste of Cyprus. Now, these are the flowners. Here we go. Look at that.
That does look tempting and good. And the sultanas, that sort of evenly added, and that lovely mixture of cheese in the middle, and very thin pastry.
You can smell the mastika and the meklebi in this straight away. It's quite strong when you smell it. It's like being back in Cyprus again.
Now that's a flavour that I've never tasted before, but it's unusual and I like it.
In week 7, the bakers were asked to step back in time to make a staple of Victorian social climbers. Paul's game pie is as ornate on the outside as it is lavish on the inside. Filled with venison, boar, rabbit and pigeon, it's the perfect centerpiece for any dinner party.
Well, Mary, the signature challenge on Victorian Week, we kicked off with a game pie.
Very appropriate, because of course there was a lot of game about and it was not expensive.
What we've got here is a selection of meats. We've got some venison, we've got some boar, we've got pheasant, we've got pigeon, and we've got rabbit. I need that to be chopped up. I've got 700 grams there, which all need to be diced up into sort of that sort of size, Mary.
That sort of, what is that?
I don't know, half-inch square.
Yep, okay.
Ish. Over here, I've got some cloves of garlic. I'm just going to rub 2 of these things here.
Now, there's something I haven't cooked with wild boar.
I like boar. It's becoming more popular in this country now, isn't it? Because there is quite a lot of them around.
Well, it's just like pork, only a bit more gamey.
Yeah.
Right, that is all chopped up.
And we've got 700 grams now of all the meat inside that bowl. Now, what I'm going to add, I've got here some bacon. And again, that little bit of fat you're going to add to it as well.
You do need a little bit of fat in whether it's a pork pie or a game pie, but it's just got to be chopped up small. It all adds to the flavour.
I think so. So here, I'm going to add my bacon to that as well.
What's that, about 200?
That's 200 grams,
Yeah.
and 200 grams of the minced pork belly. Now, there's a couple of other things I want to add in there, Mary. Could I have 2 tablespoons of the Madeira, please?
There we are.
I'll take this as a bit of... That'll do. Nice bit of kick there.
And, of course, if you hadn't got Madeira, you could use port or another fortified wine.
Yeah.
So there's no need to go and buy a special bottle.
No, absolutely
Which this is.
Now, I need half a teaspoon of the allspice and half a teaspoon of the mace as well, please.
Add the spices, then finely chop 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme and 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley. Then add them to the mixture and season with a little salt and pepper.
I'm just mixing all these ingredients together. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is that can be popped in the fridge just to rest, and what we'll do is prepare the hot water crust pastry.
In Victorian week, some of the bakers decided to give their game pies a modern spin.
Now we've got the meat in the fridge, we need to prepare the hot water crust pastry. So could you weigh me up the flour first, please? 450 grams of plain flour.
I will indeed.
Thank you. I love hot water crust pastry. I love working with it as well.
So do I. In fact, I can't wait.
Lovely. And 100 grams of the strong flour. The beauty of using a hot water crust pastry, the lard in it creates a seal because the amount of liquid inside this pie, it creates a natural seal which holds all those juices in. Thank you. And on top of that, 75 grams of butter. Nice, Mary.
How about that?
Very nice. Now,
I'm getting as good as you at judging.
could you weigh me up 100 grams of lard, please? Because over in the pan over there, I have 200 ml of water, to which I'm going to add that lard. Perfect. Now over here, I've got the water. So I'm just going to drop in a couple of little drops just to melt it. I'm going to take that off the heat now. It's got enough heat in there now, which is beginning to melt the lard. Now I've got a little salt, please, Mary. Now, that is nearly all melted. Straight in. Pop that over there. Now, obviously, don't put your hands straight in this. It's a tad warm. So get a wooden spoon or any spoon and just stir around and bind the ingredients together. You've got to work with it fairly soon because it will begin to firm up.
Your hands must be quite tough because that is hot.
It is fairly warm, yes. But it's just the quickest way of doing it. Right, get your hands in there. Work that pastry in the bowl. Comes together quite quickly. So I'm just going to bring this pastry together. Now I've got my tin ready. Happy with the pastry? Matt had a tin like this, which he borrowed off his mate Dangerous Dave. I've got a sort of new version of it, which is basically just clipped together. Now, I've just rubbed the inside with a little bit of butter, and I've got the pastry ready, so I'm going to rip off about a third, leave that for the top, get my rolling pin, and I've got to line this now. What's tricky about lining this is you've got to get right underneath at the bottom. So, begin to roll out your pastry. What we're going to do is coerce this into the middle.
You're being very gentle as you do that.
I am, because I don't want to form any cracks. I don't mind a fold because you can thin that out anyway with your fingers and shape it. So I'm just dropping it down, pushing it with my fingertips into the corners. Now, would you mind bringing out the meat for me, please, Mary?
Right.
While you're doing that, I'm going to prepare the lid. Cutting off a little bit there for a bit of decoration. You'll also note what have I not used while rolling out.
Flour.
You don't have to, because the lard in there, it's not really conducive to sticking to a rolling pin. Happy to leave that there for a minute. We've got our shell lined. We'll get the meat. Just breaking it up to allow it to get into the corners.
And it really does have to get right into the corners so that it's tightly packed. You don't want any spaces whatsoever, do you?
Nope. Now, I've got an egg. Could you crack an egg, Mary, and we'll use that as a little bit of egg. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put a little hole in there first. There it is. A little steam hole.
Right.
What that does, you know when it bubbles up and all the little gravy and all the stuff and the meat comes out, it'll end up coming through there rather than inside the pie, so it looks a bit neater.
That's very clever.
Next, for the decoration, roll out the pastry trimmings. Using an oak leaf cutter, cut out 20 leaves and arrange around the lid to decorate. Finally, brush with egg wash.
And that's ready to go in the oven. Now, you're going to put it into your oven at 180C fan for 30 minutes, drop it to 140C and leave it in there for another hour and 3/4. It'll be beautiful, golden brown, and smelling like heaven.
So the idea is to have that blast of hot heat to start with to make this a lovely chestnut brown colour on top, and then lower it down so that the meat becomes tender.
Changing the temperature halfway through the bake was essential if the bakers wanted to have a well...
Look at that.
Wow.
Now, obviously, you can see the hole, all the juices have been through. The leaves are all slightly shrunk. Again, that's because the protein, it's just shrunk them back, but that's perfect. Beautiful colour. Now, I'm going to leave it in there now for at least an hour before I even consider taking it off. It just needs to set, and we'll be able to eat it later a little bit warm.
But ideally, it is best served cold, and that would give the liquid time, the natural juices of the meat to set into a jelly. No need for gelatin.
I'd have that with a few chips.
I beg your pardon? You wouldn't.
Game pie, Mary. Been waiting for this one.
I think it looks fantastic, and I think Queen Victoria would approve.
I'm sure she would. This should be delicious. Now let's cut into it and have a look. Oh, yes. I'll take a big wodge and then cut one in half, OK?
That's a good idea, but the pastry is lovely and crisp, isn't it? But that's what you expect from hot watercress. Oh, look at that.
Look at that fella.
That does look good.
Crispy pastry, hot water crust, loads of game in this, Mary. It should taste delicious.
It's nice that you kept the meat in decent-sized pieces.
That tastes delicious.
Oh, that is lovely. And you've got a strong flavour of thyme going through there. That really is good.
Absolutely.
The showstopper for Victorian Week was a complex French dessert called a Charlotte Russe.
Good morning, bakers.
First, I'm going to pop them into a big bowl.
To the egg yolks, add 35 grams of caster sugar.
There we are.
And beat until pale and creamy.
You see how much it's thickened up now? It's beautiful, glossy and smooth.
Then add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Lovely.
Next, place into a bowl 60 grams of plain flour and a pinch of salt and 1 tablespoon of corn flour.
Right.
Thank you. Now I'm going to sieve this straight into the mixture.
Once sieved, fold the ingredients until you have a smooth consistency. Then pour the egg whites into a bowl and add a pinch of cream of tartar. Whisk the egg whites and cream of tartar to soft peaks. Measure out 35 grams of caster sugar. Gradually add the sugar to the mix, whisking continuously until it forms a glossy meringue.
OK, there we have our beautiful light meringue.
One of these days, you're going to do that, and it's going to triple round, and if it comes on top of me, it'll go straight on you.
No, it didn't come out.
Right.
OK. Right, what I need to do is incorporate this into that. So to start with, I'm going to add a little bit to start with.
To slacken it down.
To slacken it down, yeah, exactly.
And that's often the one thing that people forget to do, and then it goes in all lumpy and white streaks.
Exactly.
You've got to slacken it down.
Add the meringue gradually, keeping as much air in the mixture as possible.
It looks perfect, doesn't it?
Just nice and light. Now, I've got a piping bag here, and I've got 2 trays, which I'm going to pipe straight on there.
So that's parchment paper that you've done just a pencil across the top.
Yeah.
Pipe the mixture in lines of equal length on a baking parchment.
Now, what I've got here is just a little bit of icing sugar. And this will help with the crisp on the top as well to form a slight caramel on the top of the sponge finger. So I'm going to pop these straight in, and they're going to go in the oven at 170 fan for around 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes.
They look good. They've just got a tinge of pale brown around the outside, a nice sugary top.
Quickly remove the sponge fingers from the baking parchment and place to cool on the wire rack.
Now we need to crack on with the bavois. Now, to start with, what I've got over here, I put 7 leaves of gelatin into cold water. Now, this just softens them. This is the jelly. And there should be 450 ml of milk.
That's it?
Yes. I'm going to pop this straight onto a pan to warm up.
While the milk is warming, separate the yolks from 6 eggs. Measure out 75 grams of caster sugar. Add the egg yolks to the sugar and beat until pale and creamy.
That looks about right.
When the milk is near to boiling, take it off the heat and gradually pour it over the egg mixture.
Throw the lot in. Thank you. Now, I've got the gelatin leaves that have been soaking here. Get rid of the liquid, pop that straight into the mixture and dissolve that into the milk and egg yolk mixture. Could I have my pan back, please, Mary? Okay, I'm going to pour this back in here. And this is going to go back on the heat, just so it coats the back of a spoon. So it's just kind of thickened slightly.
As soon as the bavois is the right consistency, remove from the heat.
Now, you can see this now. It's coating the back of a spoon beautifully.
That's
now,
perfect.
this goes straight into a bowl, and it needs to cool down.
While the bavois cools, cut one end of the sponge fingers and arrange vertically around the inside of a greased and lined cake tin. Next, whip 350 millilitres of double cream. Measure 200 millilitres of passion fruit puree and mix into the bavois. Add the whipped cream to the mixture and fold gently.
That looks delicious.
Spoon the bavois into the tin lined with the sponge fingers.
And it's important to have it at that sort of setting stage. If it is really runny, what happens is it goes into the sponge and makes it like a trifle.
Yeah.
And also it would seep through the little tiny gap, which we don't want.
I'm going to pop this into the fridge, and then this will leave to set for a good 3-4 hours. Right, Mary, we've got our bavois in there, chilling away nicely. Now we need to make the jelly for the top. Now I'm doing a lime jelly.
First, place 3 sheets of gelatin in cold water to soften. Put 125 grams of caster sugar and 150 millilitres of water into a pan and place on the heat. While the water and sugar warm on the hob, zest and then juice 2 limes.
Oh, I love the smell of lime.
Right, this is heating through.
OK, I'm going to put that in there as well.
Add the zest and juice to the pan and bring to the boil, stirring until the sugar has dissolved.
That's ready.
Is that ready? Fantastic.
Remove the pan from the heat. Squeeze the excess moisture from the gelatin.
Pop that in there.
Once added to the pan, stir until it's dissolved.
That looks good. It's
Nice.
almost dissolved, isn't it?
I think it has, yeah.
Then sieve the liquid into a jug.
Now let's just get rid of all the little bits of zest, but the flavour has already gone into that liquid.
Now that is a pale lemon. It's not lime, so you want a bit of colouring in that.
Want a little bit of colouring.
Go easy.
A little bit in first. That'll do.
So that's still got its hot
It's still warm. What we need to do is leave that to cool slightly. Yeah, probably about 20 minutes or so.
Gosh, it's as firm as firm.
Oh, look at that. Look at the slight wobble. Very mousse-like, isn't it?
Yep.
So what we're going to do is pour this on.
Now, the consistency of that is really important because if it's too runny, straight into the sponge.
Finally, return the roux to the fridge and chill until the jelly has set.
Right, Mary, here's the Charlotte Russe. Let's have a quick look.
Steady, steady.
Nice.
When the Charlotte Russe is ready to decorate, place on a cake stand. The finished Russe is delicate, so moving it isn't as easy as it looks, as one of our bakers found out. On the stand, decorate with fresh fruit.
Now, I think that is beautiful to have any time of year, but in the summertime, what better way to celebrate Victorian baking? Well, here it is, Mary. Finally ready for a slice of beauty.
It does look most tempting.
Oh.
Goodness gracious, that is
You beauty.
sheer perfection. You're doing quite a good job of that, Mr. Oliver.
I'm trying. I am trying. There you go.
It looks good on the plate too, doesn't it? That really is superb, isn't it? There aren't many times that I go back for yet another one.
But that
this
is...
time with jelly.
It's quite refreshing. It's quite tart as well from the passion fruit, and the little bit of lime jelly settled really well. The sponges there as well. Oh, this is delicious, Mary.